Hello guys and welcome back to Celebrity Big Brother, and my god, we've got a tense episode to talk about. I will be going on a rant in this episode. I will put that out there right now. I have been scrolling through Twitter and I've been seeing a disgusting amount of hate towards one of the housemates that I don't think is justified. I don't think it's deserved. So I will be talking about that in this episode. But we've also got face-to-face nominations. I'm really excited to look into it, and I'm excited to just talk about it. But it is dramatic, it is entertaining, and that means that you guys have got to press that subscribe button. You've got to do a fantastic job for me and make sure you are hitting all them buttons that you possibly can. We're almost at 700. Like, when I tell you it's within reaching distance, we're 3 away, which is crazy. So please make sure you're subscribing. Make sure you get us to that goal of 700. We're just about halfway through March, which is crazy. So the fact that we could be on the way to 700 before we've even reached the halfway point, absolutely incredible. But that means that you guys have to keep subscribing because you guys are doing a fantastic job so far. But if you're not subscribed, what are you doing? Subscribe. Join the ranters. Let's go. So the first thing I want to talk about is the fallout from the jelly bean roulette. It's very much sort of the main thing that people have taken away from it is that Coulson's really hurt and Levi is trying to apologise, but it's just being met with deaf ears. And I think it's one of those things where Coulson really just needs to sort of get over himself in the nicest way possible. It wasn't like Levi was like, oh, I think you're boring. He was like, before like yesterday, if I had to say something, I would have said Coulson. I don't think you're boring, but like if I had to say someone before yesterday, before you came out of your shell, I would have had to say you. But he's crying, and the whole of Twitter's like, oh, bless him, he's so sweet. Okay, sure, but when other people cry, it's fake and it's manipulative and whatever. Anyway, moving on. Coulson is sort of hyper aware that other people are very sort of they might not think that he's very interesting, and so he's very aware of that. He said he's been aware of it his whole life. It's one of those things that he just has to deal with. Levi's kind of just sort of I think he might be faking it kind of thing towards Coulson. I think it was a bit OTT. I think it was a bit like, it was too much. Like, it wasn't actually that bad, what I said. So, can we get a grip, please? And then Louis later on was like, oh, well, considering I was voted the most lazy housemate, I guess I'm just going to continue being lazy then. And, like, people were laughing and it was funny, but, like, he is a very lazy housemate. I mean, Sharon confirmed it in her exit interview. She was like, yeah, he actually doesn't do anything. Like, actually doesn't do anything. So, I found that quite funny. But that is pretty much all from the fallout from the jelly bean roulette. So, let's move on to the rule break. So, now we're going to talk about the rule break. The rule break was pretty pathetic. I pointed it out in the last episode. It was when Marisha and Louis were joking about nominating him, and then Louis made a comment to Nikita later on going, don't nominate me again, and it was very clearly not a serious conversation and they were just joking. But I think Big Brother takes these things very seriously. I hate the fact they can't talk about nominations. I think it's so boring. It's exciting to see people nominate, yes, but then like it just gets to the point where it's like, how are you expecting people to improve when, or like become better housemates when you're not telling them why you're nominating them, or like not even that, but sort of talking to other people about it? I think it just adds an element of strategy into a game that is a game. Do you know what I mean? If you take out the strategy element, it's not really a game. There's no actual benefit to doing anything in the game. It's like, this is the argument that I'm going to make later on with Ekin and Marisha, is there's actually no benefit to playing a game because the audience hate you for it, or they think it's the best thing since sliced bread, and you don't really know which way they're going to take it. So it is just a bit of a frustrating thing. So anyway, the nominations, Marisha and Louis were given the punishment of being the housemaids for the day. We only got to see like 1 or 2 little bits. I think Louis washed up a dish And then like that's all we got to see from that punishment. It was just a bit pathetic. I think Big Brother gave them a very light punishment because it wasn't a huge rule break. So I think the punishment befit the crime kind of thing, but it was a second rule break. It was a second and third rule break by Louis, actually. So I think they should have given him something a little bit harsher. Maybe slammed him in the slammer or something, I don't know. But it is what it is. We are going to now move on to the carnival. Sorry, had to pause there because I was having a little bit of a fight with someone on Twitter, but we're all good now. We're gonna be moving on to the carnival, and I gotta say the carnival was actually really, really funny. It was actually a really, really good way to introduce face-to-face nominations by giving them like this lovely place where they could play, have fun, get some stuffed toys, and then there were a couple of things. I think Marisha got her fortune read, and that was where she found out that she'd got an Olivier Award. Or not she'd got one, but she was nominated for one, which I thought was absolutely very, very cute. I thought that was really, really lovely. And then Fern then went to the tombola, and that's where they found out about the face-to-face nominations. And this is where things got a little bit toxic. Because face-to-face nominations, you guys know the drill. You guys know the drill. The drill is face-to-face nominations are always really, really toxic. They're really, really entertaining. And I gotta say, let's just jump straight into it. So, Bradley was up first. Okay, actually, I'm going to backtrack a little bit. Face-to-face nominations only work when they lock in their decisions beforehand. Because we then get people who start voting based off of what other people have voted for, and then it starts to become not your own opinion but other people's opinions. That's why they should have been given, like, you know when they did it on the previous series, the Big Brother 20 with like Jordan and that lot. When they did face-to-face nominations, they had the pictures and they had to choose 2 pictures, put the rest of them in the envelope. I don't know why they didn't do that this time, because there were a couple of people that voted based off of what other people had voted. And it just felt a bit scumbaggy. It didn't really feel genuine. It didn't really feel right. So, I don't know. I think they should have locked in their decisions before and not let people's votes in this dictate what their votes were going to be when it was their turn. Do you know what I mean? It feels unfair. It feels really, really unfair. So, up first, Bradley voted for Louis and Ekin-Su. Louis, because he's lazy, he puts no effort into things. You're going to be hearing me say this a lot, but he just does fuck all around the house, and people are starting to get a little bit sick of it. And I can't blame them, honestly. Bradley seems to be contributing to the house. He's only ever received 1 nomination from Louis, and that's because he wasn't famous enough, or hadn't lived enough of his life. And then you get Ekin-Su, where he's like, I don't feel like I've had any meaningful conversations with you, and therefore I have to nominate you because you're the only person in this house, like, apart from Louis, obviously, that, like, I don't feel a connection with as strongly as some others, which, again, is fair enough. It is what it is. Then we come on to Coulson. Coulson voted for Louis and Levi. The reason he voted for Louis is because he feels like Louis won't be an asset to them in the final week. They need people that are going to be contributing because there's going to be less people in the house, and therefore it's just going to cause turmoil if they have someone in the house that isn't contributing. So that's why he voted for him. For Levi, it's because of the boring comment. Levi hurt him. It made him feel upset. Yada yada yada. Yeah, it is what it is. There were a lot of tears in this like challenge, and in this sort of, not challenge, on this face nominations. Nikita was sobbing despite not receiving a single nomination, having never received a nomination. So I don't know why the fuck he was crying. I'm really struggling with Coulson, and Coulson not so much, but I'm really struggling with Nikita. I just don't find him interesting. I think he is quite boring, and I think he's got like good moments, and then like everything else I see, he's just kind of there. Like, I forget he's in the house sometimes, whereas like there are so many other people that I don't forget are in the house. So anyway, moving on to David. David voted for Levi. and Louis. The reason why he voted for Levi is because he feels like Levi isn't necessarily interested in him and what stories he's got to tell. And it always feels like David's asking Levi about his life, but never actually receiving any questions back and giving an opportunity to Levi to sort of learn more about his own life. So I don't know, I kind of did see that coming. As for Louis, my literal only comment was he's lazy in it. That's all I could put, because I was like, actually, what else do you put? There's not really much else you can say about Louis. Moving on to Ekin-Su. Ekin-Su voted for Louis and Fern. Now a lot of people have been like, oh, why did she vote for Louis? He's her friend. Yes, but also, like, she was like, you're lazy, be more practical. She is playing a game. Let's be honest. It's not something to, like, look down on her for or sort of whatever. She's playing a game. She wants to get to the final. And she has heard the boos and probably gone, you know what? Let's get Louis out of the house because he's clearly not going to make it to the final. And that means that's one more person gone that I can make it to the final. He's not going to win. So, like, let's just get him gone. And that's a fair and valid strategy. You can backstab your friends if there's valid reasons for it. But also, like, I'm not being funny. Louis was receiving every single vote from everybody. The only person that didn't vote for Louis, apart from himself, was Levi. So everybody voted for him. So I don't really understand why people are like, oh, why did she vote for him? She probably voted for him as a cop-out as well, because she didn't want to vote for someone else and cause more stress and anxiety, and she knew Louis could take it. She also voted for Fern because she feels like there's no deep convo there. Ekin-Su has spoken in sort of like another discussion, I think it was in the diary room maybe, that she feels like Fern is playing a game as well. She feels like there's a lot of sort of like, ooh, I'm a sweet innocent woman, and then she'll say something and then it'll be like the mask has slipped, and then she'll put it back on, and then she'll be the sweet woman again. And she says she's noticed that especially when she got nominated, suddenly it was like a whole new person came out, and she said that made her feel kind of weird and a little bit odd. But then Fern returned the favour by voting for Louis and Ekin-Su as well. And when I tell you, Fern, this is what I mean by like, there are some mixed standards. I feel like a lot of people have decided they hate Ekin-Su and therefore they are just like, yeah. And then when someone's like, yeah, Ekin-Su, you're this, you're that, they're like, yes, woo. But like, I thought what Fern said about Ekin-Su was really nasty. She was like, she said, and I could be paraphrasing, I could be making this up, but I'm sure she said something along the lines of like, you disturb me. Like, your face disturbs me. Or something along those lines. It was definitely the word disturbs and you kind of around those things. It's not a very nice thing to say. Ekin-Su may be playing a game, but like, you just don't get on. She literally just said there's no deep convo there. We're just not interested in each other. It's fine, chill. And then you're like, I think you're playing a game. You absorb people's personalities. You're dangerous. I was like, the fuck's this coming from? Why have you got to be so nasty to someone like in their face? Just say you don't get on with her. We don't get on. Chill. Fine. You didn't need to say all of that. It didn't come across as very nice. Am I the only one that feels like that? Because I've been seeing on Twitter, people are like, yes, woo, this is so cool, go Fern, you got her. And I'm just like, really? Really? And then she went in on Louis. Louis kind of deserves it, because like, I'm not being funny. She does deserve it. And then it just, yeah, it just felt weird. Felt weird, Fern. I wasn't comfortable watching it. Next up, we have Levi. Levi voted for Coulson and David. Coulson because he feels like Coulson misunderstood the boring comment and took it too much to heart. And David, he's just not connecting with David, and he's clearly not seeing the effort that Levi's trying to put in, and there's just not a vibe there. Fair enough. Then we come to Louis. Louis voted for Zizi and David. The reason he voted for Zizi is because he feels like she doesn't like him, and he also called her fake, which I found interesting. And then as for David, he called her loud. no, called him. He called him loud and said that he doesn't want to hear him all the time. He's just too much, too often. And again, fair and valid. It is what it is. Marisha's caused a stir, but I'm gonna talk more about that after I finish nominations because it's like a whole topic in itself. But Marisha voted for Louis and Ekin-Su. The reason why she voted for Louis is because he doesn't know when to shut up. So like she just wants him gone. And as for Ekin-Su, she said, and this is a quote, "I know if I make it to the final and I'm up against you, I'm not winning and I want to win." That was what she said. Might be slightly paraphrased, but she definitely said the words, "I want to win." Just bear that in mind for later because it will come in handy. So yeah, a fair and valid strategy, but I'm going to pick it apart later because I can understand why Ekin-Su is upset. I can understand why Ekin-Su doesn't necessarily have a reason to be upset. We're going to discuss it. Next up, we have Nikita. Nikita's blubbering like a baby. Grow up. Come on. It's just face-to-face nominations. It's not the end of the world. Am I the only one that feels like... I feel like I do very well in the house mentally. I don't think it would get to me. I don't think I'd be sitting there going, I have to nominate. It's a fucking game. What did you expect when you were going into the house? Did you think you were just going to live happily for 3 weeks? No. Oh, God, it winds me up so much. Anyway, he voted for Louis and Fern. The reason he voted for Louis is because he thinks that Louis is lazy. And I just put fair enough. And then as for Fern, he just wants her to participate more, spend more time with the group, have a bit more fun. Again, fair and valid. As for Zizi's votes went for Louis and Ekin-Su. Louis, because she feels like he has too much of a free mouth. He just says it how it is, but sometimes that's hurtful towards people, which again, absolutely fair and valid. And then the reason why she voted for Ekin-Su, and this is why I said the thing I said at the start, was because she voted for Louis and she thought that was fake and she'd backstabbed someone. And I was like, would you have actually voted for Ekin-Su had you not seen her vote? Because I don't think she would have. It seemed a reactionary nomination rather than a genuine nomination. Who would she have nominated other than him? I don't know, maybe Levi. I don't know. But I did just feel like it was a bit of a cop-out. In the same way that I feel like Ekin-Su's Louis vote was a cop-out and Marisha's Ekin-Su thing was a cop-out. I feel like the strategic ones were cop-outs because it's like, tell us how you really feel. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, anyway. Moving on to the argument. So, we are going to talk about the whole Marisha voting Ekin-Su thing. Felt odd. It felt weird because of the reasoning she gave. If she'd have just said, I'm tactically voting you because I want you out the house and I want to win, I still don't think that that's like a valid thing, because like this, Marisha is very much grown up probably watching Big Brother US, where the housemates are in control and therefore they can decide who goes home. But the public decides who goes home on this version. So her saying, I'm putting you up because if I know that if you're in the final, then you'll win over me because you have a bigger fan base. Then surely, if Ekin-Su was up for eviction, that same fan base would save her, therefore making her going up for eviction not worth it. Does that make sense? Because I was lying awake thinking about it, and I was like, Marisha's made a big move, and like, props to her. I think more people should be like that. I think the game playing strategy is so much more interesting to watch than, oh, we're the Wash Boys. Woo! Come on. Like, it was cute for the first season of Big Brother, like, coming back when it was like, oh, the upstairs gang. But now I'm a bit bored. I want drama. I want entertainment. I don't want happy families for 3 weeks. I want enjoyment. I want to be able to talk about things rather than, like, there's been a couple of episodes where nothing dramatic's happened and I haven't had anything to talk about because I've been like, what's going on? So Marisha voting for Ekin-Su, very big strategic move, but her logic doesn't work, because if her logic is you'd beat me in the final, what makes you think Ekin-Su's going to go home in an eviction? Like, huh? Is it a strategic move to put her up against Louis, but then the housemates know that the public don't necessarily like Louis because they booed this man, this poor man, they booed him. Well, actually, no, he's not a poor man at all. I'll take that back. So I don't know. It felt weird. And then obviously Ekin-Su was upset. She wasn't upset at Zizi. She wasn't upset at Fern, or what's the other one that voted for her? Bradley. She wasn't upset with those three because they gave valid reasons. But I agreed with Ekin-Su. Like, Marisha's reason was just, like, at the time I was like, no, Marisha has a point. Like, it is what it is. But like, now that I'm thinking about it, no, Marisha's reason was just not thought out well enough. If you look at some of the past winners of Big Brother, how many of them have you looked at and gone, were they even the most entertaining, interesting person on their series? No. The last one that I watched, or the first one that I watched, was Ryan Thomas. Ryan Thomas won because of the Roxanne Pallet thing. Because it was like a, we support you kind of thing. If he didn't, it probably would have been Kirstie. If that didn't happen, it probably would have been Kirstie Alley. Because she was the most entertaining person of that series. If you look at Gemma Collins' series, who won that series? Scotty T. What? He wasn't even in the top 10 most interesting people on that series. And there was only 16 people. So how the fuck Tiffany didn't win that series, or the fact that Gemma Collins was evicted before the finale, don't even get me started. So, like, this is why I don't think the British public should be involved in the decision of who wins this show at all. Because, like, what the fuck? I swear to God, if Nikita or Coulson win this show, that's it. That's it. I'm going to be fuming because they've given nothing this entire time. And you want to tell me you want to send Ekin-Su home, who has been bringing the drama. She's not a national villain. I've seen that so many times on Twitter at the moment. It's disgusting hearing you guys talk about that. Not you guys, Twitter. It's just disgusting. And then they're likening her to Roxanne Pallet, Jade Goody. I don't remember the other guy. But another guy that was, like, incredibly misogynistic. What? She's done nothing wrong. She's just, like, been a bit catty and I've had enough. Oh, now I've calmed down. Let's do some iconic quotes and moments because I want to finish this episode and move on with my day. So, up first, we had David's dream housemate being Anne Boleyn. Absolutely hysterical. We have Nikita and Bradley dancing to Take a Chance on Me. But it wasn't really dancing. It was kind of just... It was just that. And they were just, like, bouncing on one leg going around the house. It wasn't really a dance at all. Then we had the Jedward Teddy. Louis got I think it was a panda bear. And Colson went, what are you going to name it? Jedward. And Louis was like, don't be stupid. And it was really funny. And then the last iconic moment had to be when Big Brother was going. And the second rule break was Louis again. It was such a funny moment. I had such a laugh. But that is all we have time for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys had a fabulous time. And listen, I think tonight we've got Fern, Levi, Louis, Ekin-Su and David all up for eviction. I think it's going to be Louis and Levi leaving. I think it would be criminal if Ekin-Su left because I just think actually she doesn't... I know she's going to get booed. And I know it's going to, like, actually break her heart. And she's already had her heart broken by Davide. So, can we not? Can we be kind and not be nasty to someone that actually doesn't deserve it? Is that bad? Is that mean? Like, yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah, she overreacted to the whole sort of, like, Marisha thing. But, like, her game's just been put in jeopardy, so of course she's going to be fucking upset. and Marisha was the one doing it for tactical reasons. So, and also the only person that nominated her that's supposed to be her, like a close friend of hers. So yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. But thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys later. Keep on ranting. Bye now.